Did Jesus go to hell to preach to the dead? 1 Peter 3:18-20. For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long-suffering of God waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water. Did Jesus preach to dead people who lived during the time of Noah while he himself was dead? That would mean that the dead can receive salvation after death, which is the complete opposite to what Jesus taught in the story of the rich man and Lazarus. The Bible never contradicts itself, so if there appears to be a contradiction, then it is because we have a misunderstanding. Let's look closely at the verses used to support the teaching that Jesus preached to people in hell. 1 Peter 3:18. For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. Quickened means brought back to life. Quickened by the Spirit means that Jesus was brought to life by his own divine Spirit. We know this because Jesus said before he died in John 10:17-18, I lay down my life that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. But quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached, by which also is referring to the same Spirit. Jesus was quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. The verse is letting us know that it was through his own divine Spirit that Jesus went to preach. But did that happen while he was sleeping in the grave? 1 Peter 1, verses 10 and 11 says, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Christ and the glory that shall follow. This passage is letting us know that the Spirit of Christ was in the prophets who prophesied of the salvation to come. Noah was a prophet. He preached to the people for 120 years. The Spirit of Christ was in Noah and spoke through Noah. That is how Christ preached to the people who lived before the flood. They were not dead when Jesus preached to them through Noah. It says, which sometime were disobedient, verse 20, when once the long suffering of God waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. God was long suffering because he waited 120 years as Noah preached before judging the people. Do you think after 120 years of preaching that those dead people needed Jesus to preach to them again? 1 Peter 4:6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to God in the Spirit. The gospel was preached, past tense, to the dead who are now in the prison of death. It was preached to the dead when they were alive. This is why the gospel is called the everlasting gospel. This gospel has been preached from Genesis to Revelation. If the people did not hear the gospel, then they could not be judged according to men in the flesh. And the goal is for everyone to live according to God in the Spirit, that is, in the inner man. Ephesians 3:16, it says that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man. When Jesus died, he did not go to heaven or hell. He slept in the grave until the resurrection morning. If you would like to be with Jesus in the resurrection to come, please watch my video, How to Live Forever. Thank you for watching. God bless you.